My name is Deborah Barasa. I'm the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry in Kenya. And I'd like to say that Kenya is really at the forefront of the global movement to end plastic pollution. We've had more than 170 member states shaping the legally binding agreement to end plastic pollution. UNEA 5/14/2022 was when the negotiations were kick-started, and this was hosted in UNEP headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya, showing our leadership again in matters of ending plastic pollution. We've had bold actions. When you look at them, single-use plastic bags, which were banned in Kenya in 2017, and the single-use plastic utilization in the protected areas were also banned, and the extended producer responsibility regulations, which have been passed and now are being implemented. So Kenya is at the forefront. Kenya is pioneering for Africa to end plastic pollution, looking at eliminating the single-use plastics, again ensuring that we are promoting circular economy and supporting innovations. We want to be the voice of Africa. We want to bring an environmental justice, especially to the vulnerable in the community. Africa bears the brunt when it comes to plastic pollution and its impacts. We are also talking on behalf of the vulnerable in the community, such as the waste pickers. How do we capacitate them so that they can be able to ensure that we are again ending or countering the plastic pollution. So it's not just about the industries, but also down to the community level. And in Kenya, we call it the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which is really our president's agenda, that we are looking at the community level and how we are capacitating them at the last mile. The treaty for us Kenyans is all about protecting our rivers, our lakes, our oceans. It's about safeguarding wildlife and other biodiversity. It's also about preserving human health and the health of the biodiversity, as well as and creating green jobs as well as green industry, so that we can grow our economy. And so, as I said earlier, we were able to ban the single-use plastics in 2017, and from there, from the manufacturing, importation, the sales, the use, there were penalties of up to more than 4 million being given to people who are utilizing the single-use plastic bags, and this was able to drastically reduce plastic pollution up to 80% reduction in our country. We're also able to ban single-use plastics in protected areas, as well as implemented the extended producer responsibility 2022 regulations, which actually saw that the mandate of the manufacturers to support in collection, in selection or segregation, as well as in the circular economy, that is the recycling of plastics. This again has been a toll for us because of some legal or the litigations that were associated with it. But we continue to champion, and that is why again we are here. The critical role of multilateralism to ensure that global EPR is worked on and implemented at country level, because we know that this is not just about Kenya, this is about the world at large. When we have our porous borders, then we can have leakages of plastics into our country, and that can again bring in the vicious cycle of having plastics again within our country. And so we are really supporting multilateralism to support the globe. So the impacts have been quite a lot. First of all, the reduction of plastic waste, innovations have come in. We have become global champions. We're globally recognized for the regulations that we have brought in. We have protected our wildlife, we protected human health, biodiversity, ecosystems, among others. And so we are championing strong regulatory frameworks because we have seen what they've been able to do in our country, and we are talking about having just transition, capacity building, and having resources in order to implement circular economy, and also ensuring that there's inclusivity not only at in the industrial level but also at community level, because of the great work that Kenya has done in order to drastically reduce or end plastic pollution. Indeed, we are aligned with Agenda 2063, Prosperous Africa, the Africa we want. ensuring that there's inclusivity, that we are supporting circular economy and the sustainable development growth. First of all, I have to say that we need a united voice for Africa, and we are part of the Voice for Africa to ensure that the legally binding agreement or treaty incorporates interventions that will support Africa in terms of implementing circular economy. And what does that mean? There's need for resources, there's need for capacity building, job creation, green economy. And that is only through a good financial mechanism that will trickle down to country level and to community level. And so we are advocating and advancing discussions on a good financial agreement that will support us in that. Equally, we are advocating for the full life cycle of the plastic products, both from the upstream as well as from the downstream. And so we are working and we are engaging to ensure that the full cycle, life cycle, is incorporated in the legally binding agreement. We must champion and ensure that Africa's voice is recognized during these discussions. Equally, at the East Africa community, we are supporting in the phasing out of plastics, encouraging circular economy, ensuring that there's finances and capacity building for the same. Predominantly, we've seen these headquarters for governance are there's a preponderance or a predilection for the global north. So how about the global south? And that is why we are saying we need to capacitate, we need to ensure that there is efficiency, there is effectiveness, that the headquarter is coming closer to the population that is really affected by this pollution. And this is really the global south, and ensure that we are having an assertive and a value on multilateralism by having equitable global governance. And so the support to ensure that the Secretariat on Environment is really with the UNEP and it's based in Nairobi is critical for us to position ourselves as Africa, as Global South, and champion this to ensure that we are not bearing the brunt when it comes to plastic pollution, but we are leading in terms of ensuring that there is circularity and that we are looking to address the full life cycle to end plastic pollution. With regards to private-public partnership, we've had multiple engagements. First of all, at national level, we've had our policies, we have our strategies, we have our regulatory frameworks in place to support in implementation. We have developed the circular economy strategic plan, the strategy as well as the action plan. We have the sustainable waste management action plan. We have the extended producer responsibility regulations, among other regulatory frameworks to be able to support at county levels. We are engaging with the county level. We have intergovernmental discussions in order to support them in terms of implementation. We have NEMA, which is a regulatory body to ensure that they continue implementing a circular economy at county level, as well as address any issues and have enforcement when it comes to ending plastic pollution. We are also working with public-private partners in order to support in waste management, such as the Eco Group, Mr. Green Initiative, among others. That way we can be able to improve the synergy and ultimately work on waste management and a circular economy. We've had multiple partners, supporters in developing the strategy and implementing, and also establishing centers of excellence within counties so that we can share these best practices at county level and also at national and global level.